A part template's going to save us a bit of time getting into and creating our models. So we have the standard template, and this folder is buried down in the SolidWorks folder. So we're also going to create a location that's a little easier to get to. So once my SolidWorks launches, some of the things that we've been changing, I want to see the origin. Control 7, we'll make sure it's in isometric. We are in inch, pounds, and seconds, so that's fine for our first go around, but I would like to have 3 decimal places. And so the other way of getting to that, besides the IPS and edit documents, or if it's MMGS, millimeters, grams, and seconds, and documents, is if we come up to the little gear and then go over to the document properties under units, we'll end up at the same place. So things like the dual dimensions, angular degrees, lengths, and then if we want to put it in custom, things like volume. If we were dealing with liquids, we could go to gallons or some other mix of units. All right, so let's see. We have the enable confirmation corner, and then under the drawings, right now we're set to mark all part assembly dimensions for import. The logic behind that still makes me wonder if everything's marked for input into the drawing, then there's really nothing special about it. So I usually uncheck that one. Colors, the sketch, auto rotate. We want fully defined sketches, but we don't want to check that box, because if you can't, for some reason, get the sketch to go fully defined, you want to be able to exit, continue on, and come back to it later. Don't see anything anywhere in there. So just kind of clicking down through these selections, the box, and most of these are available either on the right mouse button, or some of these are available on the right mouse button if you want to change on the fly. Our default template locations, so the standard. We'll get into the file locations after we create create this template. The feature manager, we did this previously, because a lot of these are going to stay with the system. So once they're set, regardless of the template, but things like the solid bodies, I want to show those. Other things I'm not quite so concerned about seeing all of the time. Spin box increments, views, the all important reverse the mouse wheel if you need to. The reminders or auto recovery information. The main issue, I may have mentioned this previously, is with the auto recover, if you're doing any projects that are under a non-disclosure or have a certain level of need a certain level of security, this is going to create a folder under your app data buried a little ways back, and then the backup copy is also buried a little ways back. And you want to be sure that you update those folders to something that's more accessible, that you can check regularly, that you're not ending up with a bunch of duplicate sensitive information. All right, so touch has to do with the touch screens in the window. Whole wizard, nothing really going on there. Let's see, haven't seen that one before. Lock rotation on new concentric mates to the toolbox components. That could be pretty handy. I think I'll go ahead and pick that one. Search, kind of just cruising down through these. Typically, I will disable the 3D interconnect. We'll talk about importing other files from other programs, and then exporting settings. Our drafting standard, well, I've already made some changes because it's ISO modified. So as we go through and update those, the DIM expert, I will do some of those symmetric. I typically will switch all those over to general. And most of the time when I'm using the model-based dimensioning, model-based definitions, I just want to see a quick dimension. I'm not overly concerned about the tolerance at that point. So some other of the geometric tolerances that we can deal with. Depending on your video card, the shaded cosmetic threads can do some weird things. So I'd say if you want to see those, try them out. But you know, it's not going to hurt anything to leave them off. We're still going to be able to see the simplified cosmetic threads. And then we come back to units, more model display, the legacy material data, how circular you would like your circles. If they're too much, it can slow down your system. So it's kind of go with the default unless you're seeing that you're getting a lot of polygonal circles. The sheet metal and details, some of this is new or newer and being added on as we go. All right, so we just kind of be familiar with the areas of the options. The heads-up display items that we've added are pretty much part of the system. Again, with the right-click in the tab area, just make sure you don't turn all of these off. If there's something that we would want to see, these are going to stay with the session and the system from SolidWorks use to use. All right, so I'm going to save this. I want to do a file save as, and because of the location, I'm going to create a new folder, and this will be my SolidWorks 2021 system. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to create more than just the templates. So if I do SolidWorks templates, and then I want to save this as a part, and we are inches. All right, so once I save that, I do have to check the type. So before you save that, save as type, and we're going to look for the SolidWorks template. It was at the top of the screen. Now we've rearranged this a little bit, so it's going to be an SLD part template. Sorry, it's going to be a PRT DOT right in front of me. So it's going to default back to program data, SolidWorks 2021 templates. And a lot of times because of our education licenses, education Windows setups with limited permissions, we can't really get to that folder anyway. So having it at a higher level or on one of the shared drives, then if I'm using this at school or work or on my personal computer, I can still link to this template folder and be able to have it available across multiple computers. All right, so we'll do the quick edit document units. And so we'll switch to millimeters, grams, and seconds. We can go back to 2 decimal places is plenty. Switch to inches. And we'll send it to 3 decimal places, and everything else should be the same. So I'm going to hit OK, do a file save as, find my part templates, again, it's going to automatically default, and that's also if you save something there in that lower level, then you'll want to be careful that probably the next part that you create, next assembly, next anything is going to also try to go there. So I don't really like the capital mm. I should probably change that to lowercase in, but we'll go with the millimeters and then have my settings. So that gives me the locations to try it out. We'll go ahead and close everything out. I saw the PRT DOT up here. When I go to link it, oh, now I have to be able to find that location. So we'll go back in. Doesn't necessarily have to have a file open. We can go to the file locations. The document templates we'll add into the folder and put my system folder and my SOLIDWORKS templates and hit OK. We haven't created anything else. If we move that up, it should show up first. Sometimes it works okay, sometimes not so well. And we'll let it elevate the permissions, which seems kind of annoying just to be able to save a new template location. So there's my part inch, and we double check, it opens, and now I have those settings all available, and then my millimeters, grams, and seconds. Big thing here then is remembering to use those when I go to open the file, because I work in inch so much. It's kind of a habit to grab the inch part, even though I know I'm going into metric. So at least it's available when we need it.